Hello, good evening, and welcome to Monkeys with Fire. How's everyone tonight? Hope you're all well. Hope you had a good weekend. So then, we are going to be exploring a new role-playing game from Monte Cook Games this evening. We are going to be taking a look at Tidal Blades, the role-playing game. This is from, as I say, Monte Cook Games and the design team of Mr. Cuddington. If you are a regular to the channel, you might have remembered that we actually played one of the Tidal Blade board games probably about a year or so ago, the Banner Festival. So, having already been introduced to this world just a little bit, this is a book that I was very keen to obtain a copy of because I had that bit of a tease as far as, well, what is the world of Tidal Blades, and I wanted to learn more. And of course, role-playing games are a great way to learn so much about a world, a theme, as we have discovered with looking at many different kinds of role-playing games on the channel over the past few months. So I'm excited about tonight's show. My thanks, of course, to Monte Cook Games for providing a copy of Tidal Blades, the role-playing game, for us to take a look at this evening. Now, as we go through, we'll be looking primarily at the rules and, of course, the world itself, but we might hit upon what could be considered some spoilers, some of the content. So I will throw up a spoiler sign as we sort of approach that area, just in case. If you are intending to play the game as a player, you probably want to tap out at that time. You don't want to ruin any of the surprises, but if it's general information that the GM would provide to you, then yeah, let's stay and you can check it out. Good evening, is that M? So hey there, looking forward to your stream. I backed the board game, which is great fun. Didn't back the RPG as I still have a huge backlog. Okay, well maybe you'll have to tell us what the board game's like. As I say, I played the Banner Festival. I think it's from Lucky Duck Games. Had so much fun playing that, and it was a great introduction to the world of Tidal Blades. And of course I wanted to see more, so the role-playing game is absolutely perfect because we get to have so much detail about the world explained to us. Anyway, let's jump on in and take a look, hey? So here we go. You'll have to forgive, there is a little bit of a shine from the light. As you can tell, this is a nicely processed title there, so it does catch the light ever so slightly. And what wonderful artwork we have to greet us. Of course, this is one of the major appeals to Tidal Blades. The art is done by the design team, Mr. Cuddington, as I said at the beginning. And if you have played any of the games that they have worked on, then you'll know that you're in for a treat. Mr. Cuddington is, I want to call it, say it's like a stage name, isn't it? It's a design team name, so it's not an individual. Let's take a look at the back here. Welcome to Naviri, a peaceful paradise full of promise and in dire need of heroes. A gorgeous archipelago in which crocs, turtles, humans and fish folk trade, travel and study. A world of cooperation, science, delight and celebration. But like any society, Naviri has its share of dark corners, dark dealings and dark characters. And far out at sea, the fold, which for years has kept the great sea monsters at bay, is failing. A new generation of heroes is needed to protect Naviri from these growing threats, and whatever else is waiting to break out of the fold. Work with your friends to keep your home safe and thriving. You may find yourself gathering hard-to-find items, tracking down dangerous thieves, or battling a giant sea monster with a volcano on its back, all while racing watercraft across the sparkling sea, befriending local wildlife, and competing in contests of skill and strength to become one of the great heroes defending Naviri against creatures from beyond the fold. A Tidal Blade. Tidal Blades, the role-playing game, includes everything you need to explore and adventure in the world of Naviri. So complete streamlined rules for a fast-paced, story-based tabletop role-playing experience in the beautiful world of Tidal Blades. An intuitive, concept-driven character generation system with limitless options. Play an inquisitive salamander explorer who sails the howling sea. A sharp-eyed Cuddlebeard adept who studies anomalies, a brash turtle fighter who brandishes a shell shield, or any of 1,000 other creative character concepts. A detailed dive into Naviri and the deep, intricate lore of the Tidal Blade setting. Dozens of creatures and NPCs to encounter and interact with. Hundreds of interesting items, watercraft and cyphers, mysterious devices often from beyond the fold with unique powers, and 2 complete adventures to launch your campaign. Of course, with this being a game from Monte Cook Games, it utilizes the Cypher System, which of course we have taken a look at numerous times on the channel. So we should all be very familiar with the system by now, but we'll go through the rules. Tonight, as you can see, this is a hefty tome of a book. My goodness, it is it's quite weighty, and I'm just gonna take a quick look. Oh, it looks like, oh, that's the map, isn't it? Oh, we've got a map at the back. Oh, I love a good map. So let's just have a quick look. What do we have? A page count. My goodness, 414 to the index there before we get to the character sheets. So it is a dense book. Of course, we're very familiar with the graphic design layout of books from Monte Cook Games, so this is all very familiar. They use the margins really well, highlighting points of interest, and of course the PDF version of the core rules. These are all hyperlinks, so you can easily jump to different parts of the book with ease. We, of course, are going to enjoy the wonderful art from Mr. Cuddington as we go through this, which is one of the reasons why I am so keen to check this out. Oh, it's looking good. It's looking good. Good evening, Roger. You love a good map. We do indeed. Shall we take a look at that first? I think we have to. So, as you can see, this is really nice. Very, very clean design. But we're familiar with this. We know the type of books that Monte Cook Games produces by now. Nice, clear font, so it's very easy to read. Nicely laid out. Yeah, no complaints here. This is really nice. Look at this, look at this, this is great. Okay, let's take a look at this map. I'm assuming it's a map. I imagine it would be. Be careful. I probably should have checked this out before I got started this evening. Okay, so let's put that down. I'm going to get a workout this evening because that is one heavy book. Okay. What do we have? Ah. Now this is good. Okay, so we got a little bit of shine because of the paper. But we have the city of Naviri. Naviri, yeah, I'm saying it right. Oh, you know what? How lousy I am with names. What do we got? What do we got? So, Sands of Time, New Mingu, Clearwater Academy, Drifter's Dock, Sharkbone Alley, and the Droskani Desert, the Old Market. We have Palm Plaza, Floating Gardens. Now, somewhere around here, there's going to be the race course, isn't there, that we took part in on the... Oh, I need to look now, hang on. That's it, the Banner Festival, isn't it? I'm looking for that. That's what I want to find. And it's one of these circular... Actually, it could be this one. Is it Lamara Stadium? Could be that one. We have another stadium? No, we don't. But up in the top, we got the fold. So this is where creatures, things from the dark are coming into the city from this side. So we have to be aware of that. All right, let's see what's on the other side. But this is good. We'd like a good map. Okay, this is even better. Look at this. So what we got? We got a dragon slime, strangler queen, Oboran. Oh my goodness! I'm not gonna ruin all of these names, aren't I? A sea hound, a drake, a djinn. Oh look, little djinn. These are awesome. These are so much fun. Oh, look at this one. Look at this one. A Tide Terror. You're saying, the city maps, you visit some of the places in the board game as well. The most recent game is more of an accessible dungeon crawler. Okay. I'm assuming, does the board game have wonderful miniatures of these beasties? Oh, I'm going to move it up here so you can see this bottom row. A thunder eel, a hagworm, two-headed hydra, a crawling slobfish, a lion gull. This is really nice. But can you see in the background this silhouette? And I think that of course is the creature that's covered on the front cover. This is the big bad. This is cool. I like this. That's really good. You see? Oh, you have standees, minis, but an add-on. Okay. Well, that's good. That's good. Because you see, at least with the standees, they are obviously nicely colourful, nice illustrations. With miniatures, you've got to paint them, haven't you? And it depends whether you've got the time to paint or you've had the practice, you know. I know a little bit about painting miniatures. All right. Yes. Oh, look at the size of this thing. We need to find out more about this. So this is just going to be a delight, isn't it? As we go through this, we're going to get to see some really wonderful creatures. So here we go. Artists, Mr. Cuddington, which is Lena Cassetti and David Forrest. That is the team of Mr. Cuddington, who are responsible for all these wonderful creatures and illustrations. And the game itself, designed by Shanna Germain. I think, didn't she work on, is it Predation? One of the Monte Cook Cypher System sort of setting expansions that we enjoyed. It's an expansion about time travel and dinosaurs. Can't go wrong with that. So we got our table of contents, getting started, character creation, playing the game, the setting, creatures and characters, running the game, and our adventures, and then some back matter. So in fact, actually, there's only 7 sections, but it covers absolutely everything that you need. I've painted a couple of minis, Roger, yes. I've done a couple. Oh, in fact, wouldn't my my turtle, my dragon turtle would be perfect for this game, wouldn't it? Yeah, remember that one? Okay, so getting started. So again, this is the great thing about role-playing games that we talk about all the time. That if you enjoy a setting or a theme, a role-playing game is a great way to learn and discover more about that setting or theme. You know, we've looked at Star Trek and at Cthulhu. I'm trying to think of all the themes that we've done. We've done The Walking Dead. We've done Dune. We've done John Carter of Mars. And any of these, the role-playing game provides lots and lots of background information for you to enjoy if you are a fan of that material. And so this is where this Tidal Blades role-playing game provides all the information about the world that you might not have experienced through some of the other games. So I am really going to enjoy sitting down and reading this fully to learn all about the world. But this, I believe, is a brand new sort of creation from Mr. Cuddington. They, of course, worked on several games, as we're learning about M, who's telling us all about the board games here. We've already looked at one of them from Lucky Duck Games. So Tidal Blades and its setting of Naviri has a unique feel and sensibility. It's a game and a setting that shines bright with community, helpfulness, joy, delight, science and celebration. In this fantasy water world, wonders blend with advanced time-altering technology. Crocs, turtles and fish folk co-inhabit peacefully with humans in a vast floating city. People trade with fruit and travel between the various docks on watercrafts, powered by small energy devices known as shells. So, is it fair to say that it's a bit of a sort of cozy setting, fun setting? I kind of think of it a little bit like some of the sort of fantastical cartoons that I used to watch as a kid. I'm not talking your Tom and Jerry type stuff. Some of the ones that I suppose not anime, because I think they were from Europe, but there was one, I think it was a French cartoon that I watched that had this wonderful idyllic setting, and it was all the creatures who could all talk and they had adventures on their island. And this kind of it reminds me of this a little bit. So again, this introduction is basically just getting us into what a role-playing game is, because of course we've got to consider that there might be some people who've never played a role-playing game, keen about the theme of Tidal Blades, but role-playing is new to them. They've only played board games. So, got to go through. and understand how a role-playing game works. This, of course, uses a D20, and we are trying to roll over a target number. And we've covered this many times on the channel, but it has a handy little table down at the bottom here, and when we have a task presented to us, the GM determines a task difficulty. How hard is this task going to be? Well, let's just pick one here. Let's say it's a demanding task, so it requires your full attention, and most people have a 50-50 chance to succeed. And you'd have to roll over a 9 to basically achieve this. So as it said, it's 50-50 or thereabouts on a D20. But what happens if you have a formidable task? Well, you have to roll over 21. And of course, on a D20, that's impossible. So this is where you use your skills and your assets and your effort to basically ease a difficulty, reduce it, so that it makes it easier for you to be able to achieve it. And that's basically how the Cypher system works. It's really easy. And it does, in this little brief introduction, just explains that. So, as I say, it says, so Games Master sets a difficulty for any given task. There are 10 degrees of difficulty, 1 to 10. And you've got to obviously roll higher than the number to succeed. And of course it highlights this table. And then character skills, favourable circumstances, or excellent equipment can decrease the difficulty of a task. So again, we were doing another game from Monte Cook last week, and I didn't quite remember what the phrase was, and it kept easing. The good thing about it is, again, a highlighted word, and it does point it out in the margins. I always find that really useful. So you use your skills, the circumstances, your equipment to basically make something easy. So say, for example, you're trying to get over a wall and you had a grappling hook, then that would potentially ease that difficulty by 1 level because you've got some equipment that can help you. Nice. It's a very simple system once you get your head round it, which of course is the case of most systems, isn't it? We got a bit of a glossary, and it just goes into a few more of the rules, but it's very basic. It's just to sort of ease you into the idea of what a Cypher system based game is about. So over just a couple of pages, you've had a little bit of an intro to the setting and a little bit of an intro to the actual game system itself. And that's just the tease, because we want to go straight into character creation. And I'm going to jump to the part, well, here we go. See, they always have this. It's really good. So creating a character in 5 easy steps. To choose from one of 4 types. Choose a descriptor, a species, a focus, and a character arc. And it basically points out which chapters you have to go to for that. So let's, we always like to do this, don't we? Let's jump to the different kinds of characters. The character types. So Roger, because we always seem to do this together, don't we? What type of character do you think you are going to be in a game of Tidal Blades? What do we have? We have 4 character types: a fighter, an adept, an explorer, and a speaker. Now, those are actually the main sort of types in the default Cypher system. So we've already kind of used these before, haven't we? And of course, you know that there is a character generator on the Monte Cook website, so you'd be able to use those straight away. Do you remember what type of each of these types were. So, and it says here, you may want to choose more specific names for your character types depending on the character you're playing. For example, instead of the more generic fighter, you could choose mercenary, coral guard, or champion. Let's have a quick look and see, does it suggest those? It does. So champion, coral guard, mercenary, warrior, or a tidal blade. That's for the fighter. Let's have a quick scan through. As you can see, there's numerous pages on each of these types. So for the adept, crab mystic, engineer, arcanist, and oh gosh, Orcardian. Orcardian? What's an Orcardian? But we know that the adept is somebody who is able to. So, if, thanks to your knowledge of the connection to microns, you can master powers or abilities outside the experience, understanding, and sometimes belief of others. So the adept is kind of the magic user in the world. We then have the explorer. So you could be a drifter, a trader, or a lore hunter. I think for this game you would definitely want to change the names. And for a speaker, you've got the arcanist, the bard, the elder, the overlink, or the professor. So those are the types of characters. I think I'd want to be an explorer. I think I'd want to lean into that a little bit more. This is cool. So let's just have a quick look at Explorer as an example. So it's given a little bit of an intro. Suggestions for different names, which essentially it's just for flavour, isn't it? Individual role of all explorers can be academics or well-studied. They are first and foremost interested in action. They face grave dangers and terrible obstacles as a routine part of life. So we start at first tier. I think you can go up to 6th tier. I think that's what the case with Cypher System, isn't it? 5th, we get a 6. Yep, there we go. And what is good is after each one of these character types we have an example where they have put together the character, which I find that always really useful. I like examples in my games so that I've got some sort of guide to sort of compare what I'm doing against. We have our stat pools with our starting values. We get 6 additional points. And ultimately what happens is we just follow through, putting down into our character sheet what it tells us to do. So as a first tier, we'd have our might at 10, speed at 9, intellect at 9. We get 6 additional points that we can allocate into our pool value. So this is now starting to make our particular explorer unique to us. And then, because we're first tier, our effort is 1. Our physical nature, you can have a might edge of 1, a speed edge of 0, an intellect of 0. Cypher use, you can have 2 ciphers. And then you can have a variety of abilities. Choose 4 abilities listed below. What do we got? Block, create deadly poison. Critter companion. Oh yes, let's have a companion. We got a background. Let's have a number between 1 and 20. Chat. Let's see what type of background our explorer might have. No need for weapons. Trained swimmer. I feel that might be useful in this setting. find a way. That's also going to be a useful skill. Okay. 14, says M. All right. What's our background? You have a friend with an extensive library, plenty of food and drink, and a comfortable home, and the door is always open to you. That's pretty good. So you've got a bit of a benefactor who will help you. That could be useful. Let's 20 was your greatest discovery to date. It was stolen by your arch rival. Number 1, you have made a number of discoveries in your explorations, but not all opportunities to capitalize on them have panned out yet. So you got, a good selection of random backgrounds. Again, beautiful artwork here. And so, yes, it's the same with all of these character types. Sounds nice, yeah. Again, I think is cozy the descriptive word for this type of game. So I'm interested to see then what kind of challenges we might face. So we're going to go over this many times, aren't we? Our character descriptor. Now, here we go. I always have to look in the text to find it. So I am an adjective, species, noun, who verbs. So this is the core of all of the Cypher System games, isn't it? And we said a few of these character descriptions from the back cover. So what do we have? So if we're going to be an explorer, what type of descriptor do we want? And we've got a whole load here. Calm, charming, clever, clumsy, craven, creative, dishonorable, doomed, exiled. Oh, an exiled explorer. That's interesting. Guarded, mystical, naive. Oh, that's an interesting one. Oh, gosh, I'm thinking of One Piece here now. With the setting, all of this water. And what happens if my explorer just seems to has to look, but is quite naive, just bumbles through a little bit, but with a bit of charm and a bit of, innocence about themselves. They manage to do good. Yeah, actually, some sort of character like the main character in One Piece might be interesting. You're saying, I say a feel-good vibes all round, but with interesting obstacles. Yeah, I can see that, for sure, yeah. And maybe this image itself is what's kind of giving me a bit of inspiration. This sort of happy-go-lucky type of character that wants to explore, wants to be a great adventurer, maybe is just just not sure of aware of the world just yet. Always wants to do the right thing. Okay, so this goes through all the different descriptors and how this is going to alter your character, giving you pluses and skills. Again, the Monte Cook Games character creation app on their website will help you through all of this. Again, wonderful artwork. Now, here we go. Character species. This is something that we haven't really looked at with the other games of the Cypher System. So this is quite sort of unique because we've got a variety of really cool species. And again, I just love the art on this. So, what are we going to be? We've got... Have I gone past one already? A metalod. A semi-aquatic newt-like creature. Okay. I'm going to say that's a metalod. You guys are going to have to pick what type of creature you're going to be. We've got a chameleon. A croc. With a little croc. Cuttlebirds. Frogs. Dolphin. This is brilliant. Humans. Iota. That's interesting. You're one of the smallest fish folk. Sharp black eyes and fleshy whiskers. A magnaphron. Oh my god, look at that. You're short and muscular, especially for a fish folk, with sparkly scales and large forehead. Is a magnaphron the dwarf of the fish folk? And a nagi? The species was once human but split off long ago, developing mutations like gills. Where's the nagi? I'm going to say, is that the nagi? I guess so. They're quite humanoid looking. Salamander. Turtles. Tyro. A mutant. Oh goodness. So, and wow, so you could be anything with a mutant. That is great. What do you guys think? Which type of species are you going to be? I gotta admit, I like the turtle. I'm kind of interested in this. Well, I think a magnaphron would just be awesome. I've got to see that as a kind of aquatic fish folk dwarf. So I think that would be a lot of fun. If you like others of your species, you're a bit bossy and independent, maybe even a little sarcastic. Do you get the idea that I might be changing my character a little bit? Roga, you want to go for the turtle? Okay. I think the turtle's cool. Again, I think, and of course, you know, there's plenty of great miniatures that you could get and paint up. Be one of these, and the color designs on this really great. I like this one though. That's awesome. Okay, so we had our descriptor, we had our species, now we got our focus. We've got plenty of foci just here. So, again, we go back to I am an adjective, species, noun, who, verbs. So, this is going to be our... So, what is it? I'm going to be an explorer. An explorer... Oh gosh, what did I decide to go for? I'm going to have to remember, aren't I? A magnaphron. I'm an explorer magnaphron who... Ooh, defends the weak. Doesn't do much. Explores deep waters. Fights dirty. Hunts monsters. No, I think, here we go. So I'm going to be an explorer, magnaphron, who sails the howling sea. That's who I would be. Or befriends beasts. Do I think he would be like that? But again, we've got plenty of focuses here. With amazing art. That's one of the great things about this book and all of the books from Monte Cook Games is pretty much on any double spread, you've always got a good piece of artwork to enjoy. This is awesome. I'm going to skip through this because, as you can tell, I've got 400 pages here. There's a lot to look through. Goods and currency. Oh, do you remember? We had the orange fruit, didn't we? That's what the rewards were in the Banner Festival board game. So, currency, fruit, gob fruit. Of course, gob fruit. Ah, this is cool. Again, this is the great thing about role-playing games, is you've got the space to be able to go on into detail. This looks like the Banner Festival. This is looks like a tournament area. Oh, that's a bit weird. If we're all fish folk, do we really want to be eating sushi? Just saying. Ah, here we go. Watercraft. Racing watercraft. So this is what we had, didn't we? Rainstorm. Mannequin. The Lamb V Turbo. So, we've created our character. We had got some equipment, so it then goes through. This is the actual rules of the game, how to play the game. And this is, this is what the GM is going to spend a lot of time, but it's good for players to basically get accustomed to the core rules. And we already had that little bit of an introduction to how the rules play, but now it's going to go into a lot more detail. So again, looking at difficulties and how you might determine the difficulty for a task, and then modifying the difficulty. This is how the characters make it easier for themselves, depending on what skills they've got, what equipment they've got, or applying effort to be able to reduce the difficulty. As we know from all the other Cypher System based games, essentially players do all the dice rolling. The GM doesn't. GM is focused a lot on the actual storytelling, which means that they can make sure that they've got a really good tale to tell. The players are the ones who do all the dice rolling. Oh, again, some details on timekeeping. Again, we got lots of these tournaments, haven't we? I think it's going to explain that, because this must be about becoming a Tidal Blade, and I guess that will come into the world aspect. And this is interesting because, of course, all the other games that we've looked at, I don't think we've ever looked at a game where water features so prominently in it. So I'm expecting that we'll have rules on that, rules on climbing, jumping. Oh, another great turtle. We got our vehicles. Swimming, here we go. Vehicle combat. Of course, as we complete our various adventures, we're going to gain experience points, and through them we are able to improve our characters. Oh wow. So we got sample character arcs. This was, again, it did highlight creating a character arc, because of course that's going to be important to the storytelling. So there's a variety of different ones. We can aid a friend, assist an organization. You can become a parent. You could build something. Explore. I think that's what I want to do. I want to do the exploring, don't I? And of course, once you complete one character arc, you can take on another one. You can solve a mystery, train a creature, create a relationship, a bit of romance. So that's playing the game. This is the setting. So this is where you're going to get a good understanding of the world of Tidal Blades. And it goes into all the different inhabitants. Oh, this is cool. Oh, this is nice. I like that. Yeah, I definitely like the Magnaphron. This is very cool. There's a bit of history here, which is important. Again, as you can see, there is a lot of detail in this. Food and drink. Oh, is this the fruit? The Goya star, hookberries, Muron fruit, gob fruit. There we go. Again, I just love the detail that they've gone to on this. Time. So a week is 5 days long. A month is 35 days. A year is 10 months. You have seasons, different languages. Ah, here we go. Tidal Blades Heroes of the Reef. Is this the game that you have, Em? So of course we've got these wonderful miniatures, haven't we? Types of time travel. Ah, okay. So we get a better idea. So we were only looking at this small section here, wasn't we? And this is the full map. Oh, here we go. Yes, we looked at the city. So focusing in then on the city of Naviri. Citadel of Time. Again, I want to find a stadium. This is brilliant. Here we go. Is that a stadium? It looks a little bit like it. You played Tidal Blades 2 Rise of the Unfolders. Oh, wow. So, here we go. Lamara Stadium challenges, race challenges. So that's what we were doing. Racers Bay. So beyond Naviri, we got the desert. This is very cool. Oh, no, here we go. This is... So what's this? Coral Tower. Yeah, this is the actual... So where is this? Not the battle pit. Trawl. Dock of Trawl. Yeah, that looks just like it, like the board, because it was a really interesting board design. Oh, look at this. This is so cool. And then let's move on to creatures. So we've kind of already seen some of this, haven't we? As part of the map. In fact, here we go. I wanted to look at the gin, didn't I? Let's have a look at that. So we got our sort of bestiary here. Oh, here we go. Akora. The legendary monster carrying a live volcano on its back. This unique turtle-like creature is about 300 times larger than any other turtle specimens ever recorded, and is only rarely seen in the world. Wow. Let's find this gin. But this is all, it's beautiful stuff. Yes, I want one of these as my companion. Gin are curious monkey-like creatures that often jump from tree to tree in the jungle, following travellers and others of interest. I want a gin. That one. Not that one. That one. I want that one. Motive, curiosity and hunger. Yep. This is cool. Like it. Let's I'm skipping past so much stuff here. So we get into the NPCs that we might encounter. Coral Guard. Oh yes, a scamper. And it looks, I've forgotten the name. The dwarf. It is a dwarf. Got to be. Axel was a character in the board game, and I think Dust was as well. In fact, actually, I think all of these were. Yes, I think these are special characters from the board game. Emma, have you got these characters in the board game that you referred to? See, this is why it makes me feel a little bit like those cartoons I used to watch. There's a cast of characters. Yes, yeah, there we go. All right. So we get to running the game. Again, this is more GM based stuff, but I don't think we've got into any sort of spoilers here. Again, talking about task difficulties, giving lots of guidance to GMs, adjudicating rules. Encouraging player creativity, which of course is always good. So after the Banner Festival, they became officially Tidal Blades. Ah, right, okay. See, I like this sort of evolving story that seems to be playing out across these various games that they are releasing. We got a bit of an example here on how to play, which is always good. And again, guidance on how to teach the rules and pacing. It does talk about mature themes. I don't know about you guys, but when I'm reading this, mature themes is not something that is jumping to the forefront of this for this world to me. Some of the things that it talks about here is very, very mature themes, and I just don't think it's this setting. I find this actually a very strange inclusion. We looked at last week. We looked at a horror themed game, and it talked about, you know, consent and making sure that everybody's happy around a table. Didn't go to the level that this goes to, and that was a horror game. So I'm not quite sure how much of a mature theme is going to be needed in a game of Tidal Blades. I'd like to think this sort of cozy setting, you never would have to come to this, but hey ho. This idyllic archipelago, and it's very dark. There's some very dark places. You know, this just says dark, mature themes to me. It really does. I think... Oh yes, we get up to our ciphers. So these are lots of wonderful items that we might be able to obtain. They give us special bonuses whilst in play. And then our artifacts. Actually, no, I think I'm wrong on that. Artifacts are the items, and ciphers. Let me get it right. Oh gosh, come on, monkey, you should know by now. Ciphers. So ciphers are one-use abilities that characters gain over the course of play. Cool powers. There you go. What might we have? Air bubble. Oh, that sounds cool. Dark sight. No, no dark. We don't need dark. And then your artifacts are the items that you might pick up. Bone goggles or blade armor. Or a feather cloak. And then, right at the end, we have our adventures. I'm going to skip right past these because we don't want to ruin. But there's 2 adventures at the back. And, oh, look at this. Talk like a Navirian. Expressions. Above one's fish haul. Something outside your scope of responsibility. Insults. You've always got to learn insults in a different language. A bottom feeder. A crab dunger. Mad as a shell eater. A newt or a plankton eater. Exclamations. Barnacles. We got our index. We've got our really nice character sheet. And there you go. That's it. And again, some nice illustrations on the back here with types of dwellings. that we might inhabit. I like that we have a little dock for our speeder. So there you go. That's a quick run through, because there is obviously so much to look at and it's so much detail, but give you a bit of an idea of what the Tidal Blades role-playing game contains. What did you guys think? Rogue is saying really nice artwork. Yes, it is beautiful, isn't it? It really is. I think I would enjoy having a go at this, because again, it is very different compared to a lot of the games that we have played. I hope that they do release some kinds of adventures to go beyond just the rules here. We have a couple of adventures at the end, and I'll take a look at those, but I don't want to spoil them for any potential players. But I'd like to see what kinds of adventures our characters might go on. But it would seem to just hanging out in the world is actually what's going to be a lot of fun. You should have backed the whole package. It's a beauty. It is, isn't it? Well, you can go and grab yourself a copy from the Monte Cook Games website. There is a link in the live stream description, probably just down there somewhere. And of course, you can get hold of the PDF version. As I say, that is, I find it really handy because, of course, all of these nice little margin call-outs, they all act as links to the various pages, so you can speed through the book, and it is a hefty tome, as you can tell. But it is beautiful. Really, really nice. And I think, yes, considering if you've got one of the major board games, this will be a wonderful companion to it, and vice versa, because if you've got those standees, then that'll be really useful. Of course, you do get a little bookmark in there, which is useful as well. Yeah, I like it. I think this is a lot of fun. Magnafron. Yes. Yeah. I think this is going to be this is a nice addition to the collection for the fact of that it's very different to all the other games I've got. And sometimes you don't necessarily want to be hacking and slashing or having to face mind-bending entities from other dimensions. Maybe you just want to be a crocodile and go fishing. And there's nothing wrong with that. So there you go. That's Tidal Blades, the role-playing game from Monte Cook Games. Right. Well, next week we are actually going to be playing a game live on the channel. So if you guys are available, I do need an opponent. And we're going to be playing Senjutsu Battle for Japan, which is a samurai dueling game. I thought this was very apt given that next week Assassin's Creed Shadows is launched. So, hey, let's go and check out a tabletop game version. So we're going to be doing some samurai dueling. With some wonderful miniatures to take a look at, which could be painted. So that's what we're going to do next week. If you want to do a duel against me, then do join me at 7 o'clock on Wednesday evening for our live play. I've got the weekend to learn how to play. It doesn't seem too difficult. I think we should be okay. I should be able to teach you guys how to play live on the channel. So that's our game for next week. Thank you so much for joining. Thanks for getting involved. Hope you enjoyed looking at tonight's game. And have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you next week. But until then, bye for now.